in part 6 of our Shelf Unit Inventor project, we're going to look at DWG drawing files or drawing templates in more detail. The reason for doing this is to show you how to set up a drawing template which you can use over a series of drawings, or you could use it over a whole production or all different projects or a class. It's basically to set something up that you can reuse. So let's have a look at that. So if we look at the original drawing we had or produced, we've got different elements to this drawing. We have our orthographic views which we've added, we've got our annotation, and we've got our dimensions and such like which we've added. We also have a border around this, and we've got a title. We've also got this title box along the bottom here which has information. Now a lot of this information would be consistent across a project or a series of projects. So once we've created this, we're going to be able to reuse this for different purposes. The reason I've created my own one is because I like it when it's got a small piece along the bottom which gives you the maximum amount of space to add your drawings and such like. The important information this has on the bottom, it has the project, drawing type, who did it, the date, scale, and it's got a third angled symbol to indicate that it's been using British standards. So if we look in Inventor, this is the same file. What we have here is on the left hand side we have our views, so we can delete them. So that's basically the views that we brought in. We have standard text annotations here, so they can be found up here, text, and we can double click on that to alter it, so we can change the text and such like. If you're using an older version of Inventor, you right click, edit text on that. So all of that stuff is editable, but you'll notice if you go close to this line or some of this text box, it's not easily editable. Now, like that project, I can't do anything with that. That is done deliberately so that you don't accidentally move that or it's altered without being required, because it's basically a template for setting this up so it stays consistent. So if you look on the, or actually I'll go to the original template here. If you look at it, there are two aspects over here in this in the browser menu here. Top one, you edit sheet. Basically that is like a piece of paper, and that tells me that's an A3 piece paper or format. Gives me the size, tells me the orientation, and I can change that label to my liking. So I've got an A3 in front of there, so I know it's definitely the right size. So underneath that we've also got this definition, so the edit definition, that allows access to the template part of it. So there's a sketch in there, and I've got lines and text which are all added in there. So when I go, it'll ask me to save that, which is saved in the file. But once I've clicked on that finish sketch box, I can no longer edit that. So how do we go about creating that? So first of all, I'm going to create a new file. I'm looking for a drawing file which is DWG. I'm going to use British Standards one. Now this comes in with a border and a title box in it. In this case I don't want to use them, but if I did, I can right click and edit that, and that allows full access to change that. You could edit that, you could make use of that. Again, I would really want to save that as something else so I don't mess up the one that exists at the moment. In this case I'm not going to use that. Similarly with the, so I can delete, oops, wrong button. So I can delete that. Also I've got this default border. Again, I don't want that at the moment, so I'm left with a blank A sheet. So again, I'm going to edit that sheet. I'm going to check that's the right size. So it's definitely A3. It's got the dimensions there. It's landscape. I've changed that to A3. Prefer that. So up here in drawing resources, this has other information. So you've got different sheet sizes or different paper sizes. We've got borders, title blocks. So if this could be set up differently, so you had some more options in here. If, for example, if I want to add that title box, I go insert, and that would bring in the title box that I had before. And again, if I don't want that, I can delete it. So the borders is what I'm really after here. I've got a default border, but I want to create my own one. So I'm going to go define new border. So that brings up a sketch. So now I can draw a rectangle for my border. I can use it just as a standard one. I can specify dimensions, and I can move that around until it's so say that's 400, and that could be all moved around until that's in a suitable location. You could specify that with dimensions as well. No, it's not having it. So we get that, so it's approximately in the right place for now. So that allows us just to create our own template. So I'm going to put a line across the bottom. Similarly, I can add my dimensions in there. Say I want that to be 10. I can do that, and I can add in lines just to break up the box there. So that's the drawing part of it. I also want to add some text in here. So if I click on the text box, so I want to specify a project, so I do that. So that gives me some text. I can move that and make this a little bit bigger, move that into position, and I can also edit that as well. So say for example I want to make that more prominent, I can change that, and I can move that around until I'm happy with it. So that's the first one done. So I can make use of that, the one I've changed. I can duplicate that or copy that. So I've right clicked and copied and pasted that. Again, if I right click edit text, that allows me to put in what I want for this one. So I'm going to put drawing type in there, and that this time you'll notice that it's put the type below it. So basically I just need to make that text box larger with those green dots there. So basically I can add in the information, the titles I want. So now if I go finish sketch, that's going to ask for a name for that. So this time I'm going to call that shelf unit border, and that has saved that in this resources part here. So if I want to use that in my drawing, I need to right click on that shelf unit border, insert, and now that adds that onto my A3 sheet, which you can see down here. So at this stage you can see that is not editable, because when I click nothing happens. If I want to do that, I would need to right click edit definition, and say for example I want to add another one. So I could copy that, paste that, move that over here, and then change that to the next one. So this is name, finish sketch. It's going to ask me to resave that because I've changed that, and now I've got another aspect to that. So that's the template in the background. So if I want to add annotation that I want to save in this template, I would do that the normal way. So say for example I wanted to add some of the text in here to begin with. So this is the shelf unit. I would type that in there, and that would allow me to position that in readiness for saving as a template. So Not sure this will work. Yeah. It's not liking the paste there, but I can just create a new one there. So this one would be traffic example. So in that case I've got, and I could add my name and such like. So if that was saved now as a template, so I save that as shelf unit template, that would allow me to open that file up, and this would all be set up ready for me to go. So say for example I was doing an assembly, I could change that quickly to that, and I don't need to move it around because it's already in the right place, and then I would be able to begin to start adding my models, place my models. So say I take my assembly one there, so let's change the scale 1 to 2, and then I would be able to start to position my views. Great there. So this part all stays the same, and then I would be creating a new file which then I can save as my drawing progresses. So if we go back to the original one I had here, so what I've got here is I've got my template in the background, which is in this edit definition section, and I also have my text which I've already left there, which I can easily update. So say for example I was to change the date to today's date, I can do so. And I've also left this annotation in here because you can make use of that. You could also have this off the side of the page, readiness for when you need to use it. So essentially that is us all prepared a template which we could use for multiple drawings.